Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Josh Fan of ShowMeFootball.com and ArrowheadAddict.com, and I wanted to make a video real quick talking about JuJu Smith-Schuster. So I was debating on whether or not I should make a video on this, given this is more of a March or April kind of topic, closer to NFL free agency and the offseason and stuff. We're in the midst of the playoffs, so like I'm not too worried about free agency and stuff like that. But there was a substantial report that came out today that JuJu Smith-Schuster would be interested in signing with the Kansas City Chiefs this offseason. And I felt it was significant enough that I should probably make a video on it. Because this isn't just like rumors saying, oh, JuJu would be a good fit. This is like someone that would be in the know saying, oh, JuJu wants to come to the Chiefs. So I'm actually going to read an article on it real quick with you guys, and then I'm going to give my thoughts and just my general take on it. Okay, so here's the article right here from SteelersNow.com. Bleacher Report and The Score also wrote about this, as well as a few other notable news sites. But I wanted to read the SteelersNow.com article because of the Steelers' perspective. This one's by Nick Faribault. So let's go ahead and read it real quick. So the Steelers are in a precarious spot at wide receiver as it stands. With James Washington and JuJu Smith-Schuster both free agents, there could be turnover in this room. However, while Washington leaving is almost as certain as anything, Smith-Schuster staying was thought to be plausible. After all, he expressed his desire to come back to Pittsburgh this offseason once again. However, Smith-Schuster is interested in joining the Chiefs, according to a report by Aaron Wilson of Pro Football Network. Now that quarterback Ben Roethlisberger has retired, Smith-Schuster is interested in potentially joining the Chiefs again, Wilson wrote. It's no secret in NFL circles, with multiple league sources saying Smith-Schuster hopes to join the Chiefs as a free agent and has expressed that desire. The Chiefs lofted an offer out there for Smith-Schuster in last year's free agency. It was, at the very least, somewhat equal to what the Steelers were offering. It was a one-year deal for $8 million, but with $3 million in incentives to bump that up even more. Now, after a season with a dislocated shoulder and missing most of the season, it will be interesting to see where Smith-Schuster's market lands in terms of figures. The salary cap is anything but depressed, but Smith-Schuster's prove-it deal did nothing to boost his stock either. So I found this news to be really interesting. Kind of like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, like this isn't someone just saying that Smith-Schuster would be a good fit on the Chiefs or the Chiefs are interested in signing him. There are people in league circles, people that are in the know, that are saying Smith-Schuster hopes to end up with the Chiefs. And if I'm being quite honest, I think there's probably been some kind of back channeling, talking between the Chiefs and Smith-Schuster and his camp about maybe making something happen this offseason. I know technically that's not allowed, but there are ways that it's kind of like the NBA. Like, yeah, tampering is against the rules, but teams still do it. They find ways, they find loopholes. For one, you can't keep players from talking to each other. Like, I'm sure maybe there's been players on the Chiefs that have reached out to JuJu and have talked to him like, hey man, it'd be nice to have you on the Chiefs. Just gauging what he thinks and that sort of thing. And as the article mentioned, Smith-Schuster almost signed with the Chiefs this last offseason. And after this year, because he turned down a really good deal, the Chiefs were actually offering the most money. They were offering the most, in base salary and incentives, all combined. And he still chose the Steelers. He chose familiarity. He chose to stay loyal, and I can't fault him for that. But I think after this last season with Ben Roethlisberger, he kind of realized that he made the wrong decision, especially in that playoff game too, how badly the Chiefs beat the Steelers. I think he realized he made a mistake, and he was like, man, Ben Roethlisberger just doesn't have it. No offense, Steelers fans. I'm sure you can agree with me. Ben Roethlisberger was hard to watch here in his last season, and I'm sure Smith-Schuster was probably rethinking his decision with everything that happened this year, and then he had the shoulder, so maybe he's just kind of soured on Pittsburgh since wanting to run it back with them. And I'm not saying he dislikes Pittsburgh, but probably just doesn't see himself there in the future, which is perfectly fine. It's his decision. But yeah, he almost signed with the Chiefs, and it would have been nice for the Chiefs to have him because the Chiefs struggled all year to find a good wide receiver 2 opposite of Tyreek Hill. They still have Travis Kelce, yeah, but they rely very heavily on those top two, Kelce and Hill. And a lot of the times they just struggle to find someone who could take advantage of single coverage and who could really scare defenses. And Smith-Schuster could definitely be that guy. And if Schuster is already like set on joining the Chiefs and the Chiefs can, sign him to a decent, fair contract, something like 3 years, 27 million or, something like that. I feel like that would be really fair. Maybe somewhere in the low to mid 30s on 3 years. I would totally be on board with that. But I think a lot of Chiefs fans are wanting to draft a receiver pretty high in this next upcoming draft. But if you were able to sign Smith-Schuster to a really fair deal to come on and be your wide receiver too, he's an instant upgrade over everyone not named Tyreek Hill. And he also puts off the need to draft a wide receiver. You could still draft a receiver if needed, or maybe you could sign Smith-Schuster to a shorter-term deal and have him be a stopgap, although I'm sure now he probably wants some long-term security after signing a one-year deal with Pittsburgh. Didn't really work out for him. But, yeah, I'm just really intrigued by this news because, this is him saying that he wants to be in Kansas City, and I think he really wanted to be in Kansas City. He really wishes he chose Kansas City, kind of like Melvin Ingram. But, he did say in an interview that the Chiefs were his second choice. He would have signed with the Chiefs if not for Pittsburgh. I think the Chiefs really tempted him last time around. He's not going to make the same mistake twice, and he knows the Chiefs give him a really good chance not only to put up some good stats, but to win a Super Bowl. I also think this past offseason for the Chiefs was a little disappointing in some aspects, which is why Chiefs fans were so upset at the beginning of the year when the team was struggling because they had opportunities to sign guys and they just kind of whiffed on everyone, so they were left with needs at defensive end, wide receiver, defensive back depth, even though a lot of our fans just clamored for them to address these positions, and they just kind of rolled with a lot of in-house candidates, banked on guys developing, and I don't really think they want to do that again. I think they really want to upgrade the receiver position this offseason. And here you have a guy that wants to sign with you. And the problem last offseason is they were offering guys like JuJu more than fair deals, and they were just kind of turning them down. And it was odd because it's you have the Patrick Mahomes factor, and it's an Andy Reid-led offense. There's going to be opportunities for you. There's targets available in this offense. Excuse me. I feel like there was this false perception out there that there wasn't targets available for a third option when there definitely is. But in the end, this signing would make all the sense in the world. I definitely think this is one that could get done rather quickly when we approach free agency. As more becomes clear around that time, I think the Chiefs are, really wanting to address receiver. Smith-Schuster is a good receiver. I question if he's great, not just good. But who knows? Maybe a change of scenery could do well for him because his last couple seasons in Pittsburgh, he kind of seemed to tail off without Antonio Brown being there, and he just wasn't as big of a factor. But, I think he's a good receiver, and like I said, definitely an upgrade over what they have. He would immediately be the second best guy right behind Tyreek Hill. He's also the bigger receiver that the Chiefs need. He can play inside. He can play a little bit of outside. He's a good weapon, and the Chiefs' offense would be even scarier next year if they add a receiver like JuJu Smith-Schuster to the mix. So, those are my thoughts. I definitely thought this news was worth covering and giving my opinion on, given the substantiality of it, if that's even a word, and just the fact it seems like such a solid report. But yeah, those are my thoughts. So would love to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on this? Would you like to see the Chiefs and JuJu Smith-Schuster revisit conversations about signing Smith-Schuster this offseason? And do you agree, disagree with anything that I said? Just let me know in the comments. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this. And make sure you check out my work on showmefootball.com and arrowheadaddict.com. And I will see you all in the next one.